Alright. So in today's video, I want to answer the question, do you need a lot of money to start your own long-term e-commerce brand, right? I get this question all the time in DMs, comments, everywhere. And today I'm recording my video with my phone, with the front camera. Honestly, I don't have time to set the other camera up and edit the video and everything. I don't spend a lot of time on that because I'm not a full-time YouTuber. And sometimes I'm a lot busier than other days. But anyways, let's dive into the topic. I don't think you need a massive budget to start your own long-term e-commerce brand, right? That's a very big misconception. I think people relate a lot like branding with having 50,000 units in a warehouse that you bought in the United States, right? It doesn't have to be like that. Branding is a concept that you literally can start with a lower budget. It's just the way you do it. It's the way you choose to market your brand, your products, the way you choose to create content and record videos. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because you're building a long-term business that it has to require $50,000 or $20,000. Okay, there are more practical ways for people that are just starting out to start building a long-term brand, right? And I always say this topic is not sexy, but literally, guys, the steps that I'm gonna be talking in the next videos, like brainstorming, choosing a name, right? Hiring a creative director for your brand, having a unique product line, things like that. Those things are related to branding, right? Branding doesn't have to be having 50,000 units sitting in a warehouse and hoping to sell it. Like for instance, many of the products that I currently have on my store are print-on-demand products, okay? And that's a very practical way for a lot of people to start so that you don't have to have 100 units sitting in a warehouse. Now, I know you're probably used to people telling you to do print-on-demand and it ships faster and all this stuff, but there are many ways you can build a brand with print-on-demand without having to have the typical funny cat quotes shirts that you find on Pinterest, right? I'm talking about a product line that is congruent. All the designs are part of the same collection with the same colors, etc. You can do that, and then once you figure out that this collection is successful, you can start ordering small units of the designs that engaged or generated the most sales and having them in your own fulfillment center. You see, so I'm not saying that to build a brand you need to do print on demand. I'm not saying also that you have to have 50,000 units sitting down in a fulfillment center. What I'm saying is that the concept of branding is just the approach that you have when you start or when you develop your e-commerce business. You know, most people are used to just choosing like any name that they first come up with, filling up their store with whatever products they find on AliExpress, and then just running ads to the store. And yes, maybe they get sales, but that store is air. It's just traffic. When you sell the store, it doesn't really have any long-term value. It's just traffic. But let's say that you have a store and you want to create a dog store, right? Because I always suggest that for brands, you narrow down into a specific niche, okay? I don't think it's a good idea to have a like super general store when you start your own long-term brand because it's very hard to target your ideal target audience. You have to become the sniper. You don't want to be the shotgun that's shooting everywhere, hoping to get everyone, right? You want to be the sniper, very, very precise on who you're targeting. That's why I suggest niche stores. Let's just make an example, right? And I'm going to show you other real life examples of brands that don't necessarily have thousands of units sitting down in a warehouse. So let's say that you want to build a dog store, right? It's a community of people that love dogs. And maybe you're targeting, I don't know, stay-at-home moms that love dogs. You're being very, very precise. You're going to choose your name, and then you're going to have one person only create all your graphic design, not 10 Fiverr guys. I paid $5 each. You're going to have one person who is going to be called a creative director, and I'm going to be talking more about these individual steps in future videos. I'm just giving a hypothetical scenario. You're going to have this person is going to create your logo, your banners, he's going to identify your color palette, the style of your brand, the tone, the voice of the brand, because a brand has to have a voice as well, how the brand speaks, right? Kind of like if it had its own personality. And you're gonna get a person that's better than you in what's, you know, in things related to graphic design, branding, because the truth is that we're not graphic designers, we're not web developers for the most part, and we don't know anything about branding when we start. So you wanna hire people that do know that stuff. And that's why in my team I have someone that's called a graphic director. It's the person that is in charge of anything related to graphic design, the style of the brand, how that image, the public image of the brand, all the visuals, so that everything is one single organism. It's very congruent. So let's say that for this hypothetical dog store, you hire this person, right? And I currently have one full-time, right? So I have a creative director that's full-time just for my store. I used to have a lot of like part-time people, but I think to start you can do part-time, then you can move to full-time. Now this person is going to do the logo, the banners, the color palette, the cover photo for your fan page, the profile picture, the favicon, and it's going to create your first product line, right? By product line, I mean a group of products that are part of one same collection and are congruent with a specific style to a specific sub-niche. So you're in the niche of dogs, but then you can create a sub-niche of poodles. And this creative director is going to create a collection of print on demand of all the designs for poodle lovers, right? You can have multiple collections in your store. Each collection has to be congruent and has its own style. Now, you don't need to have 1,000 units of each poodle shirt sitting in a warehouse. This is the big misconception, right? You don't need 50K units sitting in a warehouse. You don't need to have all these costs. And in the future, be ready to have them, right? But right now, you can go step by step. So you can create this collection in print on demand, right? While your margins might not be that high, which is normal with print on demand because it's obvious it takes them a lot of work to print each unit individually. So the print on demand companies have the right to charge more. It's fine, right? Because if they charge you $12 for the shirt and you charge $29.95, or you can position your brand as more premium like I'm doing, I charge $35 per t-shirt, then you can get your profit margin in there. I remember in the beginning when building a brand, you're not focusing on just making money. You're figuring out which designs or which products sell the most. And when you figure out which of those products or designs sell the most in your product line, then yes, you can order a small bulk of t-shirts or products of that design for a lower cost, right? So instead of having to pay $12 per shirt, you can pay $3 per shirt. And sorry, there's like a lot of dogs barking. I'm probably gonna make a pause over here. All right, the noise is down. So let's say that at this point you have your store that's about dogs, you have your sub collections about poodles, and everything is congruent. You have an awesome new collection for poodles. It has its own style. You have your logo, banners, cover photo. You have everything you need. Now, instead of just testing those products as you were testing on like in dropshipping, that you just hope that something sells, and believe me, these designs that you made might be awesome, but might not react well when testing them with the same method I use for dropshipping, because it's just how it works. You have to kind of like force the designs to work. So now what you will do on Facebook is that you will start running multiple types of ads. I'm going to be diving deeper into this topic in other videos. We're going to be running ads to build up an audience, okay? An audience of people on Facebook that you can retarget to show your products. So you can, one of my main strategies is to have a lifestyle video, a video that represents the lifestyle and the concept of your brand. It's not selling anything. I'm just telling people in the niche what your brand is about and why they should follow them. So now you create a custom audience of people that saw the video and you retarget that custom audience with your products. You gotta build the warm audience. That's the key when building a brand. You gotta build a warm audience, warm audience, which is basically gonna be your group of people that are gonna be buying multiple times from you. I don't want to dive too deeper into that because this topic is about the budget. But in this specific scenario, you have a store and you don't have 50K sitting down, but you have this mindset of branding that allows you to create a really cool concept that's not just focused on making money. So branding is more a mindset and a concept rather than just a strict set of rules of having 50K in inventory, going into China and seeing the sample and engraving your name on the metal thing and blah, 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 right? Yes, that's branding too. And some people manufacture really complex products and I don't know, more sophisticated products, right? But in the beginning, when you're just starting out, you can build a brand as well by applying these concepts of seeing the long-term potential of the brand, building your audience. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need a ton of units sitting down in a warehouse. Okay, there's another company that I think is very cool. It's Shinon, right? Shinon is print on demand for jewelry. You can create a brand with jewelry print on demand, or Printful for print on demand shirts and leggings and tops and crop tops and all these kinds of products. So that's just my answer to that question. Do you need a high budget to create your own brand? I think that, you could, but you don't necessarily have to have a high budget. It just really depends. Now, if you're gonna say, okay, you know what, I want to manufacture, 1,000 cooking knives in China, then yes, maybe that's gonna cost you, $5,000 to create 500 units or 1,000 units, right? It depends. There's not like a one way to do branding, right? It depends. But my point is, you can do it. You can do it. I started with dropshipping. I made a transition because I'm telling you, everyone's gonna keep teaching dropshipping here on YouTube because it's very profitable to teach courses and to sell courses. But trust me on this, people that stay around, that stick around within the next, I'm talking about 5 years online, are people that are gonna have their own brands, right? People that just sell crap and they take a ton of time to deliver that crap to their clients, they're not gonna be around. I'm telling you, they're probably gonna be jumping from business model to business model, to Bitcoin, to Forex, to this, affiliate, e-com again, because they never built a real asset. Okay, that's my video, and no fancy edits. Here's the content. I'm gonna probably be recording like this because I'm super busy lately, so believe it or not, like putting all the setup of the fancy camera and like the mic and everything and editing, it takes a lot of my time, and I'm very, very busy, but I think this quality is good. I think the audio is good. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.